Hey, what's up? This is Paige Mitchell, and you're listening to Paige's Lessons. A quick message from our sponsor before we start the episode. On this episode, I want to talk about failure and how much pressure we put on ourselves, how much the negative self-talk won't shut the fuck up. And I think the more we can identify, whoa, I'm being really hard on myself right now, the easier it is to redirect, the more happy we're going to be, and just bringing it to our awareness is fucking key. So in this episode, I'm going to share with you a specific example that happened to me this week around feeling like a failure. And I hope this resonates with you. Whenever it does resonate, make sure to take a screenshot of this episode, post it on your socials, and tag me, because I'd love to have a conversation with you. I'd love to see how you're processing this too. So earlier this week, I made a boo-boo with my job. I ended up having a breach of confidentiality. I overlooked something, and I had to send my boss a message being like, I'm sorry I fucked up, but let me address this right away. And then I had to take, the following protocol to address it. At the end of the day, it's a big deal of what happened, but it was a very easy fix. It's solvable. I'm not gonna get fired. It's just I just fucked up, and then I had to own it and tell my boss. I easily could have brushed this shit under the rug, but I didn't. I wanted, because that's just how my guilt works, is it's just gonna loom over my fucking head. My conscience would just throw a fucking hammer to my face and be like, Paige, what the fuck? So I ended up being honest. But I'm bringing this up because immediately when I made the mistake and I was aware that, oh, you made a mistake, now you gotta go talk to your boss about this. I can't fucking tell you, dude. From 0 to 100, I panicked. I was so mad at myself. I felt like a complete failure. That how could I even let this happen? I was so lazy. I didn't, all of the stories of how this error happened. I just went from 0 to 100 of self-ridicule and bullying and feeling like a failure. I haven't been that triggered in a really long time because I've been consciously working on my self-talk and specifically being a bully about myself. And if you listen to any of season 1, there's a lot of content around self-talk. And I share my stories about people-pleasing and being a recovering perfectionist and things like that. So this was a very weird experience to immediately get triggered and immediately go down this path of, holy shit, I'm a failure, I suck, how could I let this happen? I'm flabbergasted that I'm not perfect. But the difference is, in this story and where I am at in my life, 32-year-old fucking woman, I named it. I named it as an out-of-body experience. Whoa, I just called myself a failure. I observe that I am triggered right now. Taking a step back so I'm not in the fucking thoughts. I am watching the thoughts happen was really fucking cool. And after I said that out loud of, whoa, Paige, you're being really intense and hard on yourself for a mistake that anyone could have done. It's all good. It got solved, within less than 24 hours, it got resolved. We're good. But for me to finally name, this is a chance to say, I'm not going to do this anymore. I'm not going to go, that was the quickest I ever redirected myself out of an experience like that. And it's simply because I had the awareness that I could call it from a third party point of view of, wow, Paige, I'm observing right now that you're being really hard on yourself. I'm observing right now that you called yourself a failure, and that is not true. From this one mistake, You are a fucking human being and you are allowed to make mistakes, even in a work setting, which is really hard for me. Anything career, professional driven, I'm a lot harder on myself there than like kind of any other pillar. But yeah, I think I want to share that with you of like, how can you call yourself out more as a third party, as if maybe you're like your older sibling or something, or like a hero, some kind of figure, some role model of like, hey, I'm observing you go through this like thought pattern and this behavior when you're triggered. What's that about? And just being curious about your own self-talk can take you so far. And it's the pivot. It's the redirection. Okay, so I think I'm a failure. I'm calling myself out right now. This is where we go through that checklist. And if you are a client of mine, if you're a past client of mine, if you're a future client of mine, what we would do in session is basically go over with like a table, right? Like this chart of what is the belief? What is a neutral belief I can have instead? And where's the fact checked here? Like, can we really believe like all of these things about ourselves? Is that true? Let's fact check it, because 9 out of 10, it's not true, right? So I think anytime that we feel like a failure, remember there's so much at play. Remember there is so much social norms, capitalism, culture, family. There's so much outside institution and pressures that is yelling at us that we're failures as well. So we've internalized all this fucking crap, okay? So when we're saying we're a failure, how can we reframe that as I am now learning from this experience? It's not only that I learned in the work setting, like the actual thing that I fucked up on, like the task. Yes, I learned now moving forward in my job what to do next, so it doesn't happen to, I'm preventing that from happening again. But it was also a lesson of just my own self-growth of, wow, the next time I am triggered and I make a mistake, I don't want to go down the path of I'm a failure again. I don't want that to be the automatic thing. So I need to train my brain now while I'm in homeostasis that I'm fucking empowered, I am capable, and I will figure this out, and I made a mistake, and I am human, and I am not perfect. Right? We're replacing all of these other statements, affirmations, whatever, to correct that trigger. And it takes practice, right? And it takes breathing and self-soothing and groundedness too, because our body keeps the score as well, right? When I figured out quickly that I messed up at my job, my body had a fucking reaction, right? And maybe for you, that's like a tense grip or sweating or like heart palpitations, like what fucking's going on in your body in addition to the mind, right? So there's both the body and the mindset that we gotta play. And that's the thing, make this playful. When we're having a self-talk around failure, be curious about it. Are you really a fucking failure? Or did you just learn something new? Now you have this fucking knowledge and you're gonna go forth. And I don't know, I think the term fail, it doesn't make any sense to me, right? I think if anything, a failure would be like, if I were to say I'm a failure, it would be that I'm not like sticking to my word. I'm going behind like a boundary that I set. But not even that, dude. Like, I'm trying to give failure the benefit of the doubt here, or like devil's advocate, but I can't. There's no fucking such thing as failure. It's just you learning and growing, redirecting when you can, and self-soothing, dude. Like, be your own parent. It's all good. You are worthy. It's fine. It's okay that you made a mistake. You are not a fucking failure. I want you to like keep repeating that. I am not a fucking failure. I am not a fucking failure. You're fucking not. All right? I love you. Go forth. You got this. If you're loving these episodes of Paige's Lessons and you're ready to dive deeper into creating your dream lifestyle, Or maybe you just want some accountability and support while you're building these goals. Let's map this out together. I offer a variety of packages and price points. You can see an outline of what's included in each one-on-one coaching package in my services section located on my website in the show notes. The first step is to book a time to chat, which is a free 15-minute discovery call. Once that's scheduled, this tells me that you are open to exploring new outcomes to your current problem. During this call, we'll organize your priorities, create a strategy based on your unique goals, clearly identify your vision, brainstorm possibilities how I can help you, and by the end of the call, you will have more confidence in your vision and ideas on how to take your action for your new future lifestyle. We can talk about what package works best for you and what's a good fit when you book the call through the scheduling link in the show notes. I can't wait to connect with you and learn more about you. Talk soon. If this podcast truly resonates with you, take a screenshot of the episode and share it on your social media story. Tag me on Instagram or Facebook, and my handle is @paigemitchell.coach. I'm so excited to see what you shared and connect with you. Thank you so much for listening, and until next time, take care.